Good morning, all. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Sunday Morning Brunch with Back to Basics Dog Training. I'm Leon, head trainer of Back to Basics Dog Training, here to answer all your questions. So, hopefully, we'll start seeing some people pop up here soon and we'll get some questions that I can try to answer for you. So, a couple of things is, as you guys have been seeing recently, I've been trying this live chat question and answer period. It's been successful. Thank you very much for your attendance. I appreciate it. I've also been putting out some videos on my YouTube channel, Back to Basics Dog Training on YouTube. Please find it, subscribe to it. I'll be posting a lot of videos out there to try to help you guys out. Right now, I'm working on a 5-part series of, of mastering the walk back to basic style. I'm breaking it down to 5 steps of the walk that each step needs to be mastered to make it a more enjoyable walk for you and your dog. So hopefully people are taking advantage of it and, going through the exercises that I say, and we can start having more enjoyable walks with our dogs. We're home now. People are definitely walking their dogs more. I look out my front door and I see people walking the dogs. Some are really, really good and some not so much. So if people would watch it, hopefully it'll help you out. Of course, I recommend all I welcome all your comments, all your questions regarding any of the videos I put out, any videos you guys would like to see in the future. So pretty much anything you guys want me to put out there, I'm going to attempt to put out there. Again, the purpose of this is type your questions here. Don't be shy. What you may be experiencing with your puppy, somebody else who's watching may be experiencing with theirs, and if we can help out, we definitely want to help you out. Right now, everything we're going through in the world, if I can do a little part to help my community, that's why I'm here. So one of the questions I was asked recently on a Facebook post was, when I talk about rules, what do I mean by rules, and how do dogs know how to follow the rules? Rules, guys, are real important. Our lives are set up with rules. Our society is set up with rules. Dog society is set up with rules too. The thing with rules is they have to be clear and concise. It has to be consistent and fair. You can't ask one dog to do something if you have multiple dogs in your house and not expect another dog not to do it. That's not being, fair to either dog. So if you have a small dog, a Yorkie, and the Yorkie's allowed on the couch, but you have a 200-pound dog that's not allowed on the couch, it's really not the fairest thing in the world. So when you make rules for your dogs, make them very clear, concise. A win for you and a win for the dog. It's not all about a win for me because that's what I want. There's got to be something in it for the dogs. And usually what that can be is, if you're treat them. If you're happy about them. Hi, Allie. How are you? Hope you're all good. I have a new puppy, 1-year-old Labradoodle. He has terrible manners when walking on the leash. Advice. Well, definitely. What's probably making him horrible on the walk is he's overly excited. I don't know if you caught the beginning part of my live session here. One of the things I'm going to say is definitely find my YouTube channel, Back to Basics Dog Training. I'm actually just started a 5-part series of mastering the walk back to basics style. And it's going to go through the 5 stages of how a walk should be, starting from the moment you put the leash on the dog. Again, I don't know your dog yet. I'm hoping to meet it. But if it's excited, as soon as you take the leash out, your walk is going to be disastrous at that point. You need to reward the calm in the dog. So using that example, if I take the leash out and the dog gets very, very excited, I'm not going to put the leash on the dog. Because then what I'm doing is, if I put them on when they're excited, I'm rewarding that state of mind. I'm rewarding that excitement by putting the leash on, because that's what the dog wants from us. Put the leash on. Yeah, I get my way. It's real important to take the time to put the leash on in a calm manner. The next step is, once we get the leash on, is getting to the threshold, the front door. That should be done calmly too. They should walk to the doors like ladies and gentlemen, not dragging me to the door. And then, of course, we got threshold management. I'm summing up my videos very quickly for you. today there'll be a fourth installment put up there. But so now we're at the threshold. We need to get out the door. This is the most important part of the walk: threshold management. I have told people in my training sessions, I've told people till I'm blue in the face, if I have an hour dedicated to my walk and I have a dog that it takes me 45 minutes to get out the door the right way, then my walk's 15 minutes. What do I mean by getting out the door the right way and the threshold management? The dogs have to walk through that threshold like ladies and gentlemen. They have to go out calm. If they're excited getting out into the outside world, the whole walk is excitement, and then it's hard to control them. Every little thing will distract them. A bird, a leaf, a butterfly, whatever it may be. God forbid there's another dog walking on the street. And right now there's a lot of dogs out there walking more so than ever. So you have to take the time to teach the dog threshold management. Threshold management is two parts to me. It covers two different major things. One, it makes the walk more enjoyable. It also starts teaching our dogs front door open does not mean out. Real crucial to me. We're all on Facebook because apparently that's what we're looking at here, and we see about dogs getting out and running away, and my dog is missing, or we found a stray dog, or whatever. Those dogs don't have threshold management. They get an opening, they're gone. Allie, I'm not sure if your Labradoodle puppy would be that type of dog that would, if the front door is open or a gate is open, would take the opportunity and bolt to go explore the whole entire neighborhood. To me, that's a death sentence to a dog. I live on a relatively quiet street. It's 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I'm probably one of 5 people on this block that only drive 30 miles an hour or under on the street. Everybody else is doing 60. Not saying everybody else, but you know what I mean. It seems that way. So we want to teach them the threshold is the most important thing. They are not allowed out that front door without permission. Again, if you look at my videos on YouTube, and please subscribe. The more subscribers, the more that those videos will get out there for everybody around the country and the world. I think we can help a lot of people. So please share it with your friends. Subscribe to it. I'm here to help. But getting back to the threshold management, what you should do is have your dog sitting in a comfortable position so you can open up the door comfortably. If you touch the doorknob and your dog gets up, he gets up because you touch the doorknob. And since when does touching a doorknob represent anything? It's just, I'm opening a door. You have to stop the process and make him sit again. I always say, put an imaginary X on the where your exercise / discipline, whatever words you want to use, starts. The exercise discipline of walking through the door is exactly that. It's an exercise or it's discipline. It's no different than playing football and being on the front line, and you have to put an imaginary X and we start all over at the new place. If they get up when I touch the doorknob, I put them back to that spot. Reason being is I know if you give them an inch, they take a mile. They're like having kids. If you can manage to open the door and the dog not get up, great. If you have 2 doors, you got to do this process for both doors because, just because you pass one door doesn't mean they understand the concept of the second door. So again, we're going to we're going to make them wait for us to open the door. You should be able to stand there at the threshold with your door wide open to the outside world and your dog not going out. If they do, you have to stop them. How do you stop them? Firm no. This gets me in a little trouble sometimes, depending on the trainer, but a little pop on the leash. A pop on the leash is never designed to hurt the dog or scare the dog. It's just to unlock the brain, say, hey, focus more on me. Don't worry about the outside world, and bring them back to that imaginary X. They should get so good at that process that you should be able to stand on your front step or on your deck or your porch or whatever, and they should not move until you tell them it's okay to move. Say you just want to open up the door to get the package UPS dropped off. That doesn't mean the dog's allowed out. You got to set those rules and those boundaries for your dog because they don't know it. Let's face it, running around the neighborhood is more fun than being in school and learning how to walk properly on a leash. If you have kids, you know that with kids. Being in school is not as much fun as running around playing with your friends. So Again, control the front door. If you can't control from the time you put the leash on the dog to the time you walk out calmly through your front door, there is no way your walk is going to be a good walk. The third part of my series on Master of the Walk is about a short leash. At this point, your dog shouldn't be smelling the whole entire world. Nose on the ground, nose on the fire hydrants, the fence posts, anything. Couple reasons is, especially on garbage morning, garbage gets knocked over, there's chicken bones, you're walking, you don't see it, dog picks, smells it, we know the consequence of that. So don't allow it to happen. If you keep a short enough leash and they stay with you, next to you, not in front of you, they don't have to be behind you, next to you, with you, together. We're walking together. That's the key, guys. Walk together, enjoy the walk. Hold the leash short, relaxed, your body language, walk like you normally walk. Forget you have a leash for a second. Visualize how you would walk without that leash in your hand. Your arms are to your side. Your arms are moving. You got some sort of swag going on. That's how the walk should be, the structured part of the walk. You're going to do that for a little bit. I always say, I'm going to use my magic hour. You have an hour dedicated to your walk. We're out the door. Everything's going good. So we're going to start our hour clock because my dog did really good off those points. The first 20 minutes of the walk should be healing, structure. Stay with me, not smelling the ground, not smelling the fire hydrants, the fence posts, the mailboxes, anything. Their nose is strong enough that they know that Fido peed on that mailbox from 5 feet away. They don't need to have their nose on it. Because if they drag you to that mailbox, they're controlling the walk. They're in charge. They can't be in charge. That's when you have problems walking the dog. They're terrible manners on leashes. It also brings up excitement, which is when they see another dog, they react, or they see a person, they react because they're already excited. They're here when we start our walk, and then they see something, they're here. Good luck. It's hard to control it. Don't let them control it. So the first 20 minutes of the walk, be structured. You should be able to make left-hand turn, right-hand turns, figure eights, do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around. Your dog should follow you. After the 20 minutes of structure, classroom, you can allow the dog to have a recess. And what do I mean by that? That's when you can give him the full 6-foot leash, let him smell, pee, poop, do whatever he wants to do within reason. My public service announcement during recess is always the same, and it will always be the same. If your dog defecates or poops or whatever word we want to use for that in public, please clean up after your dog. I don't care if it poops in the woods in front of somebody's house, it still shouldn't be there. Clean it up. It's better for you, it's better for your neighbors, it's just the right thing to do. I don't know about you guys, but I hate when I step in dog crap. So again, when we do the recess, I said it's within, they can do whatever they want within reason. What do I mean by that? If you remember back when we went to elementary school, there was recess. We'd go outside, we'd play, we'd have a good old time, we'd run around like little idiots. There was always a recess monitor or 2 or 3 out there with us. Why? Because when we were in recess, play would get too excited and people can get hurt, it can start a fight or whatever. So the recess monitor would blow the whistle and say, hey, Leon, cut it out, you're playing too rough. How do I put that to a dog? If I feel like the dog is pulling me too much because I'm giving them that leeway, I made the decision that it's okay to do this at this point. If I feel like he's pulling my arm out of the socket and we're going to check him up and say, nah, that's a little bit too much. So they learn, when there's this much tension on my leash, I need to stop. That'd be like the whistle blowing and saying, hey, cut it out. After the recess is over, shorten up the leash, and you come home with the same structure you left with. You walk into your home first. Follow those steps. You should have a better walk alley. Again, you can always private message me for more details. We also can set up a Zoom video training session if we need to. That's always out there. So I got a question from Jillian. My golden doodle, another doodle, is very jealous. He's constantly guarding his favorite spots. He likes to sleep on his favorite people. Lately, he seems pretty overwhelmed during the quarantine. He keeps going after my Havanese, trying to separate, put them in the kitchen. He does this. How can I be more positive reinforced? Positive reinforced from the beginning. He's not very... Okay, so believe it or not, this thing with the quarantine, I've heard a lot. Dogs are starting to have bad behaviors. They are overwhelmed. Thank you for the question, by the way. They are overwhelmed. We're home now more. Everybody's home. Reality, guys, when we're not home, they're sleeping. We're interfering with their sleep. Imagine, during your 8 hours, if you're constantly being interrupted, we're going to be not acting the same way. So yes, it's definitely something I've been hearing a lot about. Dogs having some bad behaviors or unwanted behaviors. I hate the word bad behaviors. As far as his jealousy, stop feeding into it. And that sounds really simple, really stupid. But if you're petting your Havanese and the doodle comes over to you and wants to be pet, and you stop petting the Havanese to pet the doodle, you're rewarding the dog for doing an unwanted behavior. I relate to, when I raised my kids, if I was playing with one of my kids and another one came over and wanted to butt in, no, no, no. I'm playing with you one now. I'll play with you later. You're allowed to do that. You're not going to hurt your dog's feelings, but it's okay. If they continue to do it, my favorite training tool of all the training tools out there is a very simple leash. So if he's being jealous of your Havanese or claiming people by sleeping on people, that's all got to stop. So with the leash on, you have the Havanese on your lap, and he comes over, he's jealous. No, try a little pop of the leash again. I'm going to state this a million times because there are people that misinterpret what I say about a pop on the leash. The pop of the leash is not to hurt your dog or scare your dog. It's to unlock their brain, to have them focus a little bit more on you, instead of focusing on what they want, which is, in this case, I want your attention. The Havanese can't have it. And that's unacceptable. A little pop on the leash is not going to hurt. If you do it right, will not hurt your dog or scare your dog. The intent is never to do that. I don't want my dog afraid of anything, and I definitely don't want to hurt the dog. So you have the leash on the dog, or you have a leash handy. You say no. You try to make the dog, the doodle move away, and he doesn't. You get up, you put the leash on, and you move him to a spot where he's allowed to be. This I'm going to combine with another one of my favorite training methods. Not methods, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's the place command. Personally, I think every puppy, it should be included in every puppy training class. The place command is a phenomenal command, and it's just a matter of me saying, go to your place. It could be a dog bed, it could be a rug or something in front of your door, or carpet, whatever. A spot where you can send your dog, and they have to stay there until you tell them otherwise. Once you put them in place, their job is to stay there until you tell them it's okay to come off. And start disagreeing with the jealousy. I'm sure when the jealousy started, it was cute, and we kept rewarding it. And that's when I talk about, and if you listen to any of the videos I posted out there on YouTube, I always talk about the state of mind. We tend to reward the wrong state of mind. When they're puppies, everything is cute. They jump on you, they kiss you, they nibble on you, they act jealous, and we reward them by what? Petting them, playing with them, whatever. You're telling them what they're doing is okay, and we don't think about when they're 6 months old or a year old and they're bigger, that it's not so acceptable. My question, though, Jillian, would be, with the jealousy, has there been aggression with the jealousy, or is it just pretty much just annoyance, being annoying when this is going on? Don't forget, if he's growling, that's not necessarily aggression. Growling is just a form of communication. But you can be more positive, and what you want to do is praise what you want. He's not food motivated, which is okay, but he's people motivated. He wants to make you happy. So how do you do that? Let him make you happy. He makes you happy very simply by doing what you ask. So when you're happy and you praise him, you're praising what he did, not the bad behavior. You don't want to give negative attention, because negative attention is attention. You want to be clear on what your rules are. My whole training methodology is very simple. It's a KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. One discipline word. Any behavior you don't like, no, nope, whatever discipline word you want to use. Hey, I don't care. Again, I don't care what the word is. But it has to be concise. So if I'm sitting there and I'm on the couch and I'm petting your Havanese and the doodle comes over, I'm like, nope, go away. Usually I snap my fingers. That's enough to kind of make up for the if I don't have a leash on the dog. The loud noise unlocks their brain, gets their attention. I can say, go lay down, go to your place, whatever it may be. And then when I'm done petting the Havanese, I can always call the doodle over and say and praise that. If he's laying on your lap and the Havanese comes over and he growls and is acting like this is mine, he should lose that privilege of being on your lap. He has to earn that. Your lap is yours. It's not his. It's not your Havanese's. It's your lap. So, you know, sep- one of the biggest mistakes, I'm going to pick on this a little bit, Julian, is, hey, Frank, how you doing? Is avoidance separating them, put them in the neutral corners. Avoidance never, never, ever, ever teaches a dog anything. I use the example all the time, especially for puppies. If a puppy is chewing my shoes or my socks or my underwear or whatever it may be, I don't put my shoes up on the highest point of my house or behind, dead bolted doors to keep the puppy from chewing my shoes. It's never acceptable to chew my shoes. So I won't say leave it, because leave it to me is a temporary thing. Leave it is, you know what, we're having dinner now. There's a piece of cheesecake on the counter. Leave it. You can have it after dinner. Simple. So I would never say leave it to chewing my shoes, because I never want him to chew my shoes, period. But I won't take my shoes away. I will keep them on the ground, and then when the dog goes near them, I will definitely say no, no, until they get the hint. If I have a leash on, of course, there's going to be an uncomfortable feeling. It's a snap of my finger. Give me 1 second. I'm just reading a comment here. Yes, I had the golden doodle for 4 years before rescuing the Havanese a year and a half ago. Yes, he seems annoyed and growling. Sounds like he's yelling at. He is yelling at him, but you know what it is? It's no different than when if I'm laying on my couch, and this is going back to Jillian for a second. It's no different than if I'm laying on my couch and I'm comfortable, and one of my kids come over to annoy me. I'm going to say, "Get the hell away from me." That's what he's saying. He has a right to defend his space. He does not have a right to defend your space. If he is on your lap, he is defending your space. He doesn't have that right. But if he's laying down on his dog bed or on the couch by himself and the Havanese comes by and growls, he has a right to demand that dog stay out of his space, as long as he's not moving forward. At that point, if he growls and he's just laying down on his dog bed, for argument's sake, and the Havanese comes over and he growls at the Havanese, you advocate for your doodle and tell the Havanese, nope, leave him alone. He's telling you, stay away. And it's not being aggressive. He's just communicating. He just can't say, hey, leave me alone. I'm tired. So, stay away from my people. Yeah, that's unacceptable. If he's saying stay away from my people, he needs to be disciplined. He loses that privilege to be on your lap at that point, and that's crucial. That is something I would definitely recommend getting in touch with a trainer, be it myself or another trainer. Of course, I'd prefer me. You can always private message me here, and I will be with everything going on, I'm doing some Zoom or video conference training sessions. I'd be happy to do that for you. Just send me a private message or email me at info@backtobasics dog training, and we can always set something up for that. So getting back to, I forgot where I was going with that. So the place command, why don't we just hit on that? The place command, guys, is real, real crucial, especially if you have multiple dogs, but any dog. If you're tired of the dog being underneath your feet when you're cooking, when you're in the kitchen. I had a video conference yesterday with somebody. Every time, no matter where the dog was, if somebody went and opened that refrigerator, that dog was there. It's annoying, it's frustrating, especially if you're trying to cook. It's dangerous for both the human and the dog. It's think about it. You're at your stove, you're boiling a pot of water for pasta, you got your pasta all done, you turn to go dump it in the sink, and the dog is there and you don't see it. Especially the smaller the dog, the less chances are you will see it. They shouldn't be there. So that's where the place command could be used and should be used. Or if you have guests coming over and you don't want your dog annoying your guests when they first come in the house, That's another reason for the place command. I will be doing a video on that as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to produce the video yet, but there will be a video out there on it because I do think it's real crucial. But you send a dog to place. I'm going to say it's almost like when my dad used to send me to my room. Go to your room. You knew damn well. Do not come out of your room until he told me to. When I send a dog to place, I kind of follow that same rule of thumb. Um, if if I send them there, they're not allowed to come out of that place until I release them. If they do, they're going to be told no and brought back to that place. Teaching the place is a labor of love. It's one of the few things I actually do use not heavy treats on, but high value treats for, because I think it's very important to me. When I use treats and we talk about different methods of training, and I talk about different methods of training all the time, and I try to evolve to use every method of training. There are some people that don't like the idea I use leash corrections. That's okay. They're entitled to their opinion. I do use treats for certain things, but when I use treats, it's high value to me. What do I consider high value? One of the biggest things I use treats for, again, going back to puppies, is potty training. Dog goes to the bathroom outside. I'm outside with them. I reward them. I make a big deal out of it. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But they get the treat outside, never inside, because dogs are too smart. They learn that, oh, if I go out and I come back in, I get a treat. So now I go in, I come out, I go in, I go out. It's a whole vicious cycle. So I treat them outside where they go. It's also because I do try to train the puppies to go in one specific area, so it makes it a lot easier for me to clean up. The other thing I will use treats for is the recall. If I don't come, because again, that is crucial to me. God forbid my dog ever does get out. I want the dog to come to me when I call him because it's the best thing in the world. I don't care if my dog breaks out the front door when I'm teaching them. As long as they come back to me, they will never, ever, will I ever be mad at them. Because they came back to me. So I do use treats for that. The place command is something else I use treats for because I consider that high value to me. Again, I can get guests in my house comfortably. I can cook comfortably. We can eat dinner as a family without having the dog sitting there drooling and watching us and waiting for that scrap of food to fall. Go to your place. Stay there until I tell you otherwise. Never as a punishment. Let me make sure we understand that, because people tend to use different methods for punishment. Never use a crate for punishment. Never use a place for punishment. The place should be a good place. Go there. The only thing I do tell people, when you put your dog in place, you are the only person, or you and your family are the only people that should go over to the dog when it's in place. So if you're having it because grandma's coming over and you send the dog to place, and grandma should not pet the dog while it's in place, or grandma should not release the dog while the dog is in place. That's your job. You're the dog's pack leaders, doggy parents, whatever word we want to put on it. And you should be the only one, or you and your family, immediate family that live with the dog, should be the only ones to release the dog from there. And it keeps more relevance to you being in charge of the dog. And I use that terminology. My parents raised me to always respect my elders. My neighbors were always Mr. and Mrs. To this day, they're Mr. and Mrs. The ones that are when I grew up, when I talk about them. Our neighbor turned around to me one day and said, "Well, no, you can call me Tony." And my dad caught wind of it, and he said, "Absolutely not. You're not going to undermine what I'm teaching him." That's the same thing with the place command. If I put him in place, my brother can't come over here and say, "Oh, it's okay. I'm going to use Zoe as an example. Zoe, you can come off the place." No, Zoe can't, not because you said so. Zoe can come off when we tell her to. So again, I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos, guys. Whoever's on there right now, please find my YouTube channel. Subscribe to those videos. I'm hoping they're going to be real helpful. And again, I have a lot of ideas in my head about the videos or what I want to put out there. That doesn't mean that I know what you're looking for. So if you guys, my customers, my fellow dog lovers, have ideas that you want me to put out there, shoot me an email, info@Back2Basics Dog Training. Private message me either here at Back to Basics Dog Training, or on my personal Facebook page, which is just Leon Davidman. Um, put a post on there. Put a post on this. Put a post on any of the videos I've posted on on YouTube. Anything you guys want, I'll try to figure out a way to do it within reason. Um, Again, I got to be careful what I say. I have no problem talking about any tool. So if you have questions about prong collars, e-collars, halter, harnesses, head halties, backpacks, whatever it may be, I'll talk about any of it, guys. I have no problems with that. I kind of think it's pretty cool. Um, Thank you, Dawn. I know you just found a husky, so make sure you work with that boy. Um, Teach him the rules. Um, Guys, anything's open for conversation as long as it's not personal. As long as nobody starts sitting there trashing another comment on my pages or my videos, or as long as we keep it professional, I have no problem. We'll discuss anything. I'll discuss different ideas with people. This is supposed to be an open-ended forum. I want to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Um, my running joke is there's nothing up my sleeves when I do this, and I don't know how many of my regular customers are on here that the moment I walk in the house, they see a behavior change in their dog. And the first thing I say, listen, guys, there's nothing up my sleeves. This is the dog you have. They understand my body language, my energy, and they kind of know what they can get away with pretty quickly with me. And it's not because I'm 6'5", 220, or whatever I weigh now. Um, it is because of my energy. Remember, I've said this in almost every one of my videos. I've said it on these live chats before. Back to Basics motto is very, very simple. It's no anger, no frustration, no nonsense. If we can all listen to those three things, abide by those three things, especially working with our dogs or other human beings, we'll find out you get better responses. You cannot, yes, you can, let me be honest, you can control your dog out of anger. Definitely can. Dog will respond to it most of the time. I don't want my dog to respond to me out of anger. Same way I didn't want my kids to respond to me because they were afraid of me. I don't get frustrated when a dog or a person doesn't know something. If they don't know it, it's my fault. I didn't teach them. So how should I get frustrated with them? I should get frustrated at myself. And it's a different way to look at it. Um, but the no nonsense approach is exactly that. It's no nonsense. I don't. My no's mean no. Why? Again, I say this every time. It's my dad said it to me a million times. No. But why, Dad? Because I said so. I don't need to explain to my dog why they shouldn't jump on grandma. First of all, they're not going to understand me. So my job is to teach them not to jump on grandma. But you know what? In reality, that starts by not letting my dog jump on me. Um, if I don't let the dog jump on me on its own terms, then I can stop it from jumping on grandma. I don't have to worry about my dog hurting grandma. If I want my dog to jump on me, I can invite the dog to jump on me. Same way I've said it a million times. I have no problem with dogs being on furniture. People think I'm, a hard ass trainer. No, I don't care if the dog sleeps with you. Once it earns the privilege, and if you invite it on the couch or on the bed, we talked about, the doodle earlier in the session who claims the human. To me, if he's claiming a human when another dog walks by, he's lost that privilege. He shouldn't be on the furniture. He shouldn't be on your lap. He has to earn that privilege again. How does he do that? He has to be polite. He has to respect his brother or sister to have her niece and be respectful of that. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. So with that being said, guys, I don't know if there's any more questions. If there are, please get them out to me quickly. We're going to wrap this up soon. Um, Again, so today's takeaway is reward the state of mind. Keep that in mind. Reward the state of mind that you want from your dog. 99.9% of the people want a calm dog, guys. Reward that state. Don't reward any other state. If they're excited, don't reward it. Don't pet them when they're excited. Make them calm down. When you come home from work, it's great that your dog is excited to see you, but they shouldn't be jumping all over you. They should respect your personal space. Make it happen. And when they're calm, reward them. It's a better reward. If they're afraid of something, don't soothe them. And I know that sounds so cruel. Oh my God, my poor baby's scared. Another dog isn't going to soothe them. If they're afraid of something, the other dogs are going to say, what are you, nuts? Let's go. By soothing them when they're scared or unsure, you're kind of telling them what they're doing is okay, and it's not. There's, if they're afraid of thunder, it's not okay to be afraid of thunder. Thunder's not going to hurt you. You're inside. You're safe. We don't have to worry about you getting hit by lightning or anything like that. You're safe. 4th of July is a horrible time for most dogs. They get frightened because of the fireworks. Why? Because they get startled by the sound, and when they're startled, we go, it's okay. No, it's not okay, guys. You don't want to reinforce the fear. It's no different than having a child that's afraid of the dark. You're not going to tell your child, oh, I agree with you. Be afraid of the dark. There's a boogeyman under your bed. But when the dog does the same behavior because they're afraid of this noise, we go over and say, it's okay. It's only the boogeyman. He lives under your bed. It's the same theory. We're not going to do it for our kids. Stop doing it for the dogs. It's hard. I understand, especially when a dog is unsure of a situation. It's hard, but it's better for them. You don't want them being afraid every 4th of July, because 4th of July nowadays lasts from pretty much April 1st till September 30th or 31st. I don't know how many days are in September. People blowing off fireworks all the time. The other night, we're sitting here in freaking quarantine, and a couple blocks over, I heard somebody lighting off fireworks. I'm like, really? So let's start taking away some of these anxiety and fears from the dog by not feeding into them. If you have a dog that's right now afraid of these things, if we know a thunderstorm's coming, have a leash handy. If we know fireworks is coming around, have a leash handy. Keep the dog with you, sitting with you. Don't let the dog have that flight mechanism. Take it away and just stay there calmly. Let them go through the process. It's going to be harder for you than them. Nobody wants to see it. I don't want to see it, and I've seen it too many times. It breaks my heart. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I deal with those emotions, especially if I'm on a job, in my car, not in front of the dog. It kills me every time I see a dog like that, guys. But I know by making them work through this insecurity or fear, it's better for them. They'll have a much happier life. So with that being said, please, again, email me, info@backtobasicsdogtraining.com. Like my Facebook page, like my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything is different. Remember, no anger, no frustration, no nonsense. Comment, text me, email me, whatever. Any of your questions, any videos you want to see. Guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye now.